This is the DJI Air 3S. In today's video, I'm going to show you some new features that allow you to automate a lot of your missions that you can fly on this drone. So if you're using this for photogrammetry, capturing 3D models, creating big overhead maps, or just trying to automate some of your inspections, this video is for you. We can actually do a number of things on the Air 3S. We can have the drone autonomously scan an area and also maintain the same altitude as it flies throughout that whole area. So if there's mountains or if there's hills, that way the drone will fly up the mountain instead of getting stuck like you would traditionally. For today's video, we're going to be using waypointmap.com, a little tool that I made, and it allows you to effectively go through and control and do a whole planning mission situation without having to manually do this within the app, which some of this stuff isn't even possible within the app. So first things first is you can do as you're traditionally used to, which is go through and kind of plan the mission like such. This will allow you to effectively plan how you want the drone to fly. And then for each of these points, you can go through and modify them like you would traditionally maybe on the DJI Fly app. So that way, if you want to go through and maybe modify this a little bit more, you can also change the gimbal angle, you can adjust the heading, and then you can have it take like an action or something. So if I want to start, maybe stop recording at the end here, and at the start, maybe I want to start recording, I can effectively do all that manually. Now, if I by chance wanted to insert a point, you can also do that. So I can change this number to 2. And then it will recalculate that all. That's just like the traditional waypoint map that you're used to. I'm going to change the heading back to 90. But effectively that allows you to control each of the points that you're used to. And then we can also have this, yes, start recording. So this is effectively what you're used to in the DJI Fly app. This is what you can kind of do. It's a little nicer doing on a computer. And then if we clear this out real quick, we can also go through and start kind of scanning an area. So traditionally for 3D modeling and photogrammetry, you're going to want to capture a lot of images over a certain area. Usually that's because you're collecting these images, you'll throw them in a photogrammetry software, and the more images, specifically the overlap, and making sure that you have a lot of images and you want them to stay relatively the same between each other, and that way the software can recognize that and construct your 3D model. So with that being said, let's go through and select this area. So I'm going to want to go through and have the drone basically fly around the circle. Let's do half the circle, because the circle we can just use the circle tool. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to start messing with the settings. So you have a number of things that you can do if you want to just generate out some shapes. You can have it basically at a certain altitude. 60 meters is about what I would consider normal. It's a good bit above the trees, but it's also not too high. You can adjust the speed. So keep in mind, the faster that you fly, like I guess you also do some motion blur. So that's also something to keep in mind. And then the gimbal angle, if you're trying to capture like a 3D object and you want to maintain that object, you're going to want to keep it at about 45 degrees. If you were just concerned with like an overhead picture, if you just wanted to compile a bunch of images, stitch them together, and just have a big overhead picture, that I would keep at about 90 degrees or looking straight down. And so the distance between the paths is what you would be looking at there. So dynamically maintain altitude effectively allows the drone to, when it generates these points, it will generate all these points based off of the elevation data. So it will go through and kind of calculate that. And then that way, if there was maybe a hill right here or something, it will go through and fly higher in that area. It's not going to do super small obstacles. So for example, if you have like a pole here, I would probably not do it there. And also if the mountains are like cliff faces, the GPS on the drones themselves are not super accurate. So there is some concern there as well. So I would only do this in basically hilly locations, maybe some mountains if they're large enough, but I would avoid, worrying about small details. This isn't going to magically fly over buildings perfectly. Generate the points with actions allows you to go through and have each of these points. Whenever you generate some points, each of these points will have an action. Some people in the southern altitudes have it where the drone flies backwards. That's to reverse it. Line orientation. So if we want to do north and south, we can do that. And we can also have straight in flight paths, which basically this isn't showing it properly, but when you generate a flight path, usually it's actually got some curves on the end. So if you want to maintain the highest accuracy, that's important. If you go through and you fly a waypoint mission, you can upload that here. You can adjust the image overlap. You can generate every point, which we'll do for this case. And then also you don't have to manually install everything. You can download this and it will just load everything onto your controller. So I think that's like a pretty high level overview of what each of these buttons do. I'm going to start by first just showing off that we can generate some shapes. And as you can see, it generated about, let's see, 200 different points. And each of these pictures, well, right now it's not going to take any pictures. So we probably want to go through actually and have it generate some pictures. Now, I think the main thing about this though, and this is part of being like efficient with your time, is I don't know how much that's going to change, because what we can easily do is we can go through here and generate some circles. So I'm going to generate with the action of taking pictures, and we're going to go through and generate basically around here. And now what this is going to do is this is going to automatically fly around here, and it's going to capture each of the pictures looking at the center here, and it's also going to capture a good bit behind. So what you'll result in is actually getting a pretty good quality model. And then also we probably want to go through and do maybe a higher level one as well. And then what we can do as well, I think that's good enough for now. And what this will do is it will fly around the outside autonomously. It will take a bunch of pictures autonomously. And then what we can do is we can throw it in our our photogrammetry software, an aerial model, and we can go through and then it will create a 3D model based off of this. So this gives you effectively the same kind of result as it would just, manually flying back and forth. I do think that this actually will focus a higher priority on the center, so that way the center building will basically turn out better. Now this is usually a rough area for photogrammetry as it is, because there is a lot of very thin like roofs, canopies, and then there's a building in the center. The building in the center usually does good, but the canopies and stuff sometimes don't turn out great. The field itself will look good, so we can give this a shot and generate our 3D model from that. Also, let's see, we have some other tools, so I will at least show this tool. So say for example you only want to get a certain portion, you can make basically a polygon and then the drone will fly autonomously through there. So there's a couple different applications. I think, for example, if you were concerned about like looking at a tower, for example, you want to do a tower inspection, you can go through and manually, have it circle and then take the pictures. So right now we have our pictures enabled. It will generate all that. So you could do it maybe a tower inspection. So if you wanted to have it check multiple towers, and then you wanted to repeatedly check the towers every week, you could do that. So that way you're not having to manually fly this mission every week. The drone will just go over there, it will fly the towers, and then it will come back, and you don't have to manually fly that every time, which is actually beneficial for a couple different people. It also allows you to effectively automate your inspections. So if you have a certain site that they want a certain thing, you don't actually have to go through and manually fly that every time. So and shortly I'm going to go fly this mission that we just made, and then I'll show you what the final results are, at least for terms of photogrammetry. You also can go through and do like building inspections, as we mentioned. So for example, we're going to inspect this building, have it automatically generate this, and then you could just fly this. And then also maybe, for example, you wanted to add some other stuff in here, you can also combine these. So you can make some really complex flight plans. So if you wanted the drone to like take this really long way around and then maybe inspect this playground, you can do that as well. So this will generate out. I might fix this so that this is facing 90. But that way the drone will effectively take this, fly this mission, and take this really long way around and do this. And you can stack effectively as many as you want. So then you can have the drone come over here and, I don't know, generate every point here and then do that. So you have a lot of options on how you create flight plans. You can make some really complicated stuff a lot quicker than you would on the DJI Fly app. And some of this stuff, again, isn't even possible. So if we actually adjust the maintain altitude real quick. So there is, before we forget, there is one limitation I do think it's important to mention, is that specifically on the DJI RC2, which is the one with the built-in screen, DJI doesn't have enough RAM to do a whole lot of points. So what will happen is it will crash. However, if you get the controller with a external device like a phone, iPhone, etc., it's actually dependent on the iPhones or the phone's RAM size. So if you have a lot of RAM on your phone, maybe a newer phone, I have a 14 Pro, that actually has a good bit of RAM and allows you to have a lot more points than you would on maybe just the standard RC. The way you can get around this though is actually by using the straighten line features. So as you can see here, I have about 153 points, it looks like. And what this will do is it will put a couple points next to each other, and it will allow you to effectively cover a much larger area without having to generate all the points. Now you'd use the timed shots feature instead. So that would mean that within the DJI Fly app, you'd select the timed shots, and then the drone will just fly around, take a picture every couple seconds. And then what you'll do is you'll just go, you'll just fly the mission and turn that on right before you start flying the mission. So it effectively allows you a lot more flexibility in what you're doing. So without further ado, let's go through, let's fly these missions. I have 2 set up, so we'll do one around here. I'm going to be using the Air 3S, and then I'll do another one down here, and we can get started. I also am not going to cover how to install this. That I've already done in another video in the Waypoint Map tutorial video. You can check that out if you want to know exactly how to install this. Also, I have a KMZ installer that if you have the RC2 or an RC Pro, you can just click a button and it automatically installs it. I think you still do need to watch the tutorial because it's kind of important and it's got some important features, but we're going to jump in, we're going to fly this mission. So as you can see, we've loaded up the mission. This is done through the inbuilt DJI Waypoints section of the DJI Fly app, and we basically hit go. So we've loaded in our Waypoint Map mission. The drone's going to take off and it's going to do everything automatically. So it's going to go fly over, it's going to start taking the pictures because we're trying to focus on this center area here, and we'll see how it goes. So let's see, it's going to fly over now, and we got this nice little pretty day to go fly. So this little spot here is actually a baseball park. It's usually, I think it's like some Olympic baseball park or something, but it's usually a really good place to fly because there's a lot of space, and it's also got some really interesting stuff that we can capture. It also is a good indication of how well the 3D models turn out, so I'll probably do a separate video where I'll compare the DJI Air 3S, the DJI Air 3, the Mavic 3, and probably the Mini 4 Pro, all those different drones, and we'll see which one produces the best 3D models based off of everything that we've talked about. Probably using Waypoint Map as well to fly the mission. So as you can see, it's just going around, it's taking pictures, and basically I'm going to wait for this to finish up, and then we're going to take all those images and we're going to input it into a software called Aerial Model that's going to generate a 3D model from that as well. But if you were just wanting to do like a regular inspection, you could do that too, and then you could just keep the images for review later. So we have our final 3D model, everything looks good. And if you want to see any of those other videos where I check out how well each drone performs, or also the tutorial video for how to set up Waypoint Map, that'll be in the description, as well as the website link. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.